Welcome back to Hit Points Gaming. In today's episode, we will give a status of our channel and some first impressions of games that we either have recently played or just about to play. Today I am joined with Chris, who, because we have gained... You guys
are so busy, yeah.
Yeah, we've gained obviously a new member in our household here. Chris and his wife Becky have started to put out a new series, so why don't you tell me about that series?
Yeah, so it's Friday Night Lights, and I cannot get Becky into any game that's really in-depth or long or, heavy in rules. So in our house, we have a lot of card games and smaller, smaller, quicker games,
okay.
lighter games, hence the name. But it is going to be much different than what I think our viewers are used to. There's no Kingdom Death, there's nothing like that. It's going to be just some card games, and we did our first episode of Azul. We have a couple other smaller games like that we're looking at. So. Cool. Expect more of those, and she's really digging it, so we're having a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
good.
It.
Yeah. So we're getting through our library. There's a couple of games we picked up and never played, so expect to see those.
Yeah, I like that. And I really like the name, Friday Night Lights.
I don't know.
Who came up with that?
I don't know. It came to me in a
Becky
dream.
had to have done that. That was a really good idea. I like that. Yeah, so Azul was your first game. That's already out. I know you two like that game.
Yeah,
and
we mentioned that you don't. So,
I'm glad you guys played it.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out and stay tuned for some more of those episodes. So, obviously, Andrea and I's time in the channel has, of course, decreased. We actually still have some episodes that we had on queue, ready to go. I just needed to edit them, and I still haven't even gotten around to editing those videos.
Oh boy,
obviously,
it's hard. It's hard.
Has changed until you get into that rhythm.
Right.
We were just talking about off camera here because your little one.
We're at 2, so we have the time now. We know how things are. You guys are still figuring out the whole schedule.
A lot of things, right? And in the last 2 weeks, besides of course us having our little daughter, I had to go away for a little bit because my sister. Some news, I want to give her a shout out. She is now Miss New Jersey, USA.
Pretty big.
So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I got to go out and support her. Some other things that have been happening. We haven't had our chance to talk about The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Right? This is what this episode's about. Just some time to catch up and talk like we usually do in a lot of our episodes. And then we'll get to some of the first impressions of the games that we're going to mention. Right. So, Disney Plus?
Yes, we are a subscriber, unfortunately. My wife is a big Disney person, as you're aware, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. You know what? Disney Plus, I wasn't that excited about it. They've got some pretty good things on there.
They do.
And, just a lot of the Disney movies that I haven't seen, like Tangled, Brave, all those princess movies that I think you should watch. Well, like the old ones, now with a little kid, so I've been catching up on those. Lady and the Tramp, the new one, it was pretty good.
What?
But it was good. It made me The Mandalorian.
Okay.
That alone is worth it.
The production quality on it is phenomenal. It's a movie. It really Becky and I watch it and say they should do this from now on. And Brady, we play Power Rangers, agrees with that. The production quality is insane. They spent a lot of money on it.
Out and there might be some spoilers, not so much, but there have been some filler episodes. I think episode 2 and 4 have been fillers, and I'm absolutely fine with it.
Yeah,
they're short, little, entertaining. The characters are great. The dialogue's great. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's brought my faith back into Star Wars. We can't wait for Friday morning to that's what we do. Right away. So, enjoying The Mandalorian.
Because I'm done with Star Wars. I'm not going to the movies to see the new movies. This is really, like you said, this is really good. And Braden, again, mentioned maybe they don't make movies so much anymore, and they spend that money, that movie money, and spend it on this series here like this. Because this is great. I'm watching. We're watching every week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to watch the new Star Wars until it's on,
Yeah, I'll probably see it. I don't have tickets. When Star Wars were first announced, I would always get those tickets midnight launch. We would go. Whatever, I'll see it. The movies have ruined it, tarnished it, but now let's go back to something else. I totally agree. The only thing that's kind of weird here, again, he's called the Mandalorian, but he's not a Mandalore. Just like Boba Fett. What's up with these Mandalores not being Mandalorian? Odd. Okay, that's TV. That's all I really watch right now, right?
Okay.
So let's switch gears and talk about some of the games that we've have seen. So we just received finally Tainted Grail from Kickstarter the other day. Okay, now Tainted Grail, it's one of those large games where they raise millions of dollars, you know, on Kickstarter. I get into it. It's a very long campaign type game. I just got it. I haven't read the rules yet, but what's really nice is there's a start here booklet that just says, hey, set it up this way. We'll teach you the basic rules and whatnot. Cool. I really like that for games, so I can just start with this and get a feel for it. So that's what I have set up here today. And the theme to this is really, they say it's like King Arthur meets like the Celtics kind of meshed together. It's kind of like that type. And from what I can see, it has a combination of exploration, kind of like, let me just turn around and look at it. Seventh Continent, where you go in different cards, there's different action, like you flip it over.
That's pretty cool.
As well as kind of like a deck builder where you have combat cards and diplomacy cards with different skills, and then like you can get new cards into your deck, and I guess you can use those to manipulate to do skill checks or whatnot. And of course it's a campaign, so as you go through, you make certain choices. It's going to affect things. There's this entire storybook that goes along with it as well as you go around.
Pretty big.
Yeah. So this is really cool, and this is just, I think, wave 1. So just the base campaign. There's other expansions that came with it. We don't have them yet. So it looks really nice. Some things you could just tell about like the player board quality. You know, it's double layered here. This is something that you mentioned in your Azul playthrough, where you know just if you have things set up on a player board and you move it, it shifts. It can completely change everything. So just for the extra dollars, I know this costs, of course, more money, you know, to make. It's just really nice to place things in here. I think the quality of everything is really good. The character board, it's really nice. It like flips over, like this is your starting stuff, and then you flip it back in. There's like an expansion character, so instead of making a new player board, you can just swap that person in. I thought it was really, really sharp. From what I've seen so far, it looks really nice. Then, of course, you know, you've got all your other cards and larger cards. There's like 800 cards to this game.
Wow, okay.
So I think there's going to be a lot in here.
Yeah.
And what I usually do when I back a Kickstarter game that gets a lot of hype, I'll back it, and then I won't pay attention to it until it arrives. Okay. Because then I get to remember, like, oh yeah, this is all the cool goodies that are in here and whatnot.
Because they do give you all those milestones, you know. It's just like this.
A ton of stuff. So now I'm just kind of getting back into this, trying to figure out what it's about. One last thing before I ask, like, obviously one of my big questions. The characters, the actual models, look pretty nice. These are your characters, and these are these like giant statues. And I think they go on the board. That's kind of like your vision. Okay. There's like this shroud of fog of, I think it's called weirdness, that's around your city. So you can only go to spaces where like this statue's active.
Oh, okay. So you can kind of see.
Exactly. I think there's like a timer down here, like this dial. I was
just going to ask about that. Yeah.
Until I guess the light goes away. But the models, I opted for the sun dip. This is what they call them. So obviously the colored.
Yeah.
So this is like pre-painted. So for like an extra $20, you can have all your models sun dipped. So to me,
what would they have come out normally? The gray?
Your standard basic gray.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you know
that's not too bad.
So just for the sense of like, it looks a little bit nicer. You know, it's not super expensive. You know, I could go out and like dip these into a thing or dry brush it. But how many hours would that take?
Right.
You know, I'm at the point where it's just like, okay, well,
time is money.
Do I make more than $20 an hour?
Yeah.
And this is going to take me more than 1 hour to do.
Right.
Sun dip it. It looks nice. It's a game that will be playing for a long time. So
you think? You think so?
You're absolutely
this
right.
is a campaign game of many campaign games that you guys play.
You're right.
So
thank you.
Foreshadowing.
That leads to my next question. How does this get played on the channel? That's the thing.
Right.
You know, I'm in some campaigns right now. We're in the middle
You've
of
got 2 at least, right?
Kingdom Death, which we haven't done in a long time, and Madara, which we were doing really weekly. And that's one where we're, I think, in like chapter 3 of 4 or 5 chapters. So we're more than halfway.
Okay.
But do we switch gears to do this? Do I do it with somebody else on the channel? Is it something that I just play alone and I just kind of give a review of?
Okay.
I'm not too sure, but it's something that I've been waiting for a long time to play. So that's going to be a question out to our viewers. Is this something that you would want to see? Would it replace something else?
I would rather you finish Madara.
Mm.
You know, like finish something you've already started.
Yeah.
Kingdom Death, we've played a bunch of times. You've played a ton of times on the channel.
And we can always go back to Kingdom Death. That's
it's
the
so
thing, too.
easy to, like, just, it like saves itself. You know?
Correct.
It's so easy, yeah.
Correct. And we've got a while. We've got at least another year before more stuff comes out, so we can go back to that. So Madara may be it. And I even said to Andrew the other day, I think Madara is my most favorite game right now that I currently own.
Okay.
Twilight Imperium still might be there, but like what we're playing, Madara's really good.
Okay.
Every scenario is
different. I think that's your, your personal answer.
I know.
But if everyone wants to see, would rather see this, more time invested in this, maybe Madara is once a month.
That's true. That's true. Or even like the tough things with campaigns is you want to at least record the first episode.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give you a taste of what this game's like. And then we'll see, do we want to continue 2 and 3? Because if we play it by ourselves, the first episode, and then we bring somebody in, it's kind of hard to get them started. So that's always an option, too, where we do 1 episode of this. So we'll see.
Because everyone's story or campaign is different than everyone else's. So usually that first campaign is always the same.
Yeah, like, teaching the rules, showing is this something you would like, and then you can kind of branch off to your own. So that's always an option, too. So this really is just like our PSA for our viewers, like what would you like to see? Would you like to see an episode of Tainted Grail? So that is Tainted Grail. We'll set that aside. The next game that I want to talk about is Cthulhu Death May Die. Okay, so this is a game by Cool Mini or Not. Just received this, I think, last week off of Kickstarter as well. It's it is a mythos, kind of Arkham Horror spin to Cool Mini or Not, because I guess multiple people can have that license now. So this is their version of it. Cool Mini or Not, I was really on the bandwagon with them for a long time. With Zombicide, Arcadia Quest was a really, really great game of mine. But then I kind of slowed down because there were so many games, and they would pump a game out, and then they wouldn't really back it much anymore. Okay. Like, here's all the expansions, and then we're going to forget it and move on. So I think they came out this one game maybe a few years ago, 7 Deadly Sins or something like that, and I had it, and I never played it for like 2 years, and I finally just got rid of it because I didn't.
There's room in here somewhere.
I don't know. So like, and that was one of the first times where I kind of like took a step back from them. Okay. I read the rule book and I'm like, this doesn't sound as interesting. Maybe it's something I don't need right now. So I got rid of it, saved some space, saved some money. So for this, I took that leap. I read the rule book, and I still wasn't sold on the rule book. But I was able to play it. Okay. I played 2 missions. Now, this is broken up into episodes, so kind of like scenarios. Okay, and, I have to mention, it's from my 2 favorite designers. Rob Davio, who, all the Legacy games, he creates those, and then Eric Lang from Cool Mini or Not. So them together partnered up and created this. So it's not a Legacy version, but it has, they haven't broken them up into these episodes. So these boxes right here. So this is like the first episode, okay? What you do is you select an episode, and then you select the Elder God that you're going to fight. Okay. So the base game comes with 2 different Elder Gods, and with the Kickstarter you get like 2 or 3 additional ones. Got Season 2. And you mix the contents together to make this scenario. That's pretty cool. Half the cards really from this, half the cards from here, kind of make like the Mythos deck. There's always going to be a ritual in the game that you have to do. So what the scenario says, like in the first one, you have to go and destroy these labs that the cultists are trying to summon this guy. Once you do that, then you can damage Cthulhu. Before that, he could spawn and you can't do any damage to him. So you're trying to make it so that he's vulnerable for a short time, and then you kill him. So let's start with the episode. What I really like about this is there's different contents in here. Of course, there's a specific way that you lay out the board with all the tiles. But it introduces its own set of like discovery cards, so like items and whatnot, and like special rules. There's a lot of fire in this. So the rule book only had a small amount of rules. I'm like, this doesn't seem that great. because it's all
Oh, it's
contained
all
in here.
Okay.
Which is really sharp. I don't need to learn everything about the game.
Unless
I only
I'm
need to know
playing it. Right.
the specific scenario.
Okay.
What monsters you're going to be fighting. And then, again, in combination with Cthulhu, you get his cards, his Mythos cards, any specific rules for Cthulhu. And
so these are the rules.
there's certain tiles in that for him specifically.
Okay.
But, the really good thing with Cool Mini or 9 is the models are just...
They're cool minis.
Really,
or not.
really awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really awesome. And then I'll open up everything that was in this scenario.
You're going to have a fun time putting this all away.
Yeah, I know. But, it's cool. And then, there's rules on the back of this tile.
Okay.
So this is really sharp. We played it. Here's certain... The characters. It gave a ton of characters. This isn't even all of them. This is some. And what I really liked about this game, because I will jump to the case, I did like this.
Okay.
I did like it.
Okay.
I played the first scenario. It felt a little fiddly. There's a lot of steps in between. Like, okay, at the end of your turn, then you draw this card, then you have to draw this card, then you have to draw this card.
Okay.
That was my only complaint. But once I played the second scenario, it was much easier.
You knew what to do.
I knew what to do. Andrea's a little bit on the fence with this. Okay? Because while the baby was down, we were able to play maybe 45 minutes here.
Yeah.
She felt that it got too hard real quick. Things went crazy real quick. To me, that actually was a good thing. Because this is different than Mansion of Madness. Like, we're really big fans of Mansion of Madness here. Okay? I really like the app. I liked how it works. The only problem with Mansion of Madness is you can get to a certain turn and the game's over. Like, oh, you ran out of time, you lose. And she's like, oh, I just invested 3 hours into this game and I lost and I didn't know.
Right.
It just a message came up. With this, I know it's going to end. I know when it's going to end. There's a time track. Either we all die or there's a track where if he gets to the final space, it's game over. We can't beat him. So I always know when that track's going to kind of happen. And with this, what I really like about the characters is you gain insanity, of course, in any Cthulhu game, but as you get to certain milestones, you get to increase your powers. So the more insane you get, the more powerful you get.
Okay.
So it seems right in the beginning...
kind of counterintuitive.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So in the beginning, you all have your own special powers and whatnot. But as the game progresses... There's more stuff happening on the board, but now I'm getting stronger too. Okay. So I felt that really cool, like, this is how the game went. Like this. Until the end. And it was short. Not short, but an hour, 2 hours.
That's not too bad.
It had an ending, and it just kept ramping the whole time. It wasn't like, we're doing good, now we're doing bad, now we're doing... It was just like this. And I like that about the game. I always felt that we were getting stronger, it was getting harder. And so far, I enjoyed it. The two scenarios that I played feel completely different. The base game comes with 6 episodes. Then the box that it comes with, I think, an extra 3. And then there's a season 2. So,
okay, so you do have, like, it comes with 6 of these and 2 bosses. So you have, 12 combinations?
12 different combinations.
Okay.
Yeah. I like it. And just that alone, if I played the scenarios once, I think it's definitely worth it. Because they all felt different. So... Definitely do like the game.
I want to show
I know,
you
the one last thing.
Don't forget about this.
So, it came with these plastic trays right here. When I first saw these, I thought this was really flimsy, dumb, and whatnot. I totally get it. They don't want the pieces to move on top of the actual character board here.
Ingenious.
And then I did it, and it was awesome.
Like, this is so much cheaper than what I would assume...
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actual board.
The Tainted Grail, right?
Yep.
This is, this might have cost more money than a piece of plastic pressed.
Yeah.
And this doesn't look as good as that.
Doesn't look as good, but
it serves
functional.
purpose.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. You want this to be functional so things don't move around. So, so far, win-win on both those games. So,
wow, okay.
I know that we are going to be going to PAX Unplugged.
Yes.
Next weekend.
This weekend.
So I'm trying to think of what games should we bring, some short games, at night. I don't know, so we're trying to decide.
Yeah, because we have a packed full day.
Yeah, you've done a lot
Both
of work.
days.
You're putting up a lot of the interviews together.
Right. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of people. I think we have just a few hours to ourselves walking around the floor. Otherwise, we are going to be with a lot of developers and publishers, getting a lot of news, seeing a lot of new stuff. So expect that on the channel. We're going to have a lot of that, a lot of work on my end to edit all that stuff together.
Yeah, that's awesome. We had a blast the last 2 years.
Oh,
Last
it
year
was
was great.
This is the best show. And we've said within our circle of friends is PAX East used to be great.
Yeah.
Now it's just good. And
Yeah.
I feel PAX Unplugged is great, if not better, phenomenal. And it's much more fun for us. I don't know if it's so much more because we're involved more with board games as opposed to video games. We still play video games a lot.
I've been playing a lot more video games now because I'm just
Yeah.
sitting on the couch.
It's just a better show.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just harder with board games though. However, you can go to PAX East and walk by and watch a television for 2 minutes and see how a game plays. With a board game, you cannot do that.
No.
You have to watch, you have to sit down, you have to know the rules to kind of understand how the game plays. You can't just walk by someone playing,
Yeah, it
playing
has
this.
to look appealing to me.
Right.
Like, oh, let me go back home and research that game.
Right.
So it is tough, but I think they're doing a really good job. We're set up. You put time slots together so people
Yeah.
can teach us the game.
So we'll have a lot, if there's games out there, hopefully, that you're interested in, we will have, talks with people about them. So,
Cool.
yeah.
I'm excited, and I get to go away
Yeah.
for 2 days.
That's going to be great.
It's
I
gonna
hope Andrew doesn't watch this, but it's going to be so much fun
Yeah, it's
being
gonna be pretty
away.
awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be quiet. You're going to be able to sleep.
Whoa. So to wrap up, Death May Die. If it's something that you're interested, we could always do one episode of that. I think it's something that Braden would enjoy playing, kind of like what we did Power Rangers. So if you're interested in that game, let us know in a comment if you want to see a playthrough of that.
And Power Rangers, there's something more coming out of that. And you mentioned it. Braden is super excited. There's some Kickstarter that he's
Oh, that's right.
So we'll have more of that too.
Excellent.
Because that was really fun. I had a good time.
I did enjoy Power Rangers. So, the final game that I want to bring up is probably my most anticipated game.
Wow.
Yeah, because it has legacy elements and, a game that I really do enjoy already, Clank.
Okay.
Our friend Gabe introduced me to Clank. He's got all the expansions. I played them. They're wonderful. I don't own the game, but when I heard that they were doing a legacy version, this is what I've been holding out for. So that came, I think the beginning of November, as soon as everything started going crazy, and we weren't able to get together and play it, and we still have yet to play it, but I am highly anticipating playing this game. The question is, how do we play it? You asked me that when we started there.
This is going to be some secret,
So,
some Christmas present for me to open.
What's the question? Are you interested in playing? It's up to 4 players.
It's if anyone's played Clank, I think everyone who's played Clank really enjoys it. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
The only problem with Clank is it ends.
The base game?
No, yeah, the game ends.
Sure.
So now, as a legacy game, it doesn't end, And I'm really interested in how it is a legacy game. I really haven't done any research, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'll show you one thing.
Okay.
So, it's over there. If you can just grab the board. Okay? So, the board's really sharp because it's two-sided. Okay? And what's really cool about it, I'll just show you the one side right now. Okay? The top is populated and the bottom's not.
Okay.
So we're basically going to be building the board as we go through, which is pretty cool. And I hear there's...
So you're traversing... Oh, and I guess you pick your paths. Is that... Okay, right.
And there's different, we're all heroes that are, we're the same guild, and we're all trying to become, I don't know, we're trying to become some really famous heroes, right?
Okay.
So we kind of path. We have different assignments and quests that we can go do that, of course, in any legacy game will affect our future games. So definitely interested in playing this. This is a game where it comes with your 4 standard characters, and there's a dragon model. I'm very interested. I'll probably paint these because they're very simple. So I already know what character you're going to be. Very simple. I got to ask you what color. It's going to be green, I know, so I got to paint that character in green. So, again, now it comes back to, how do we play this? It's tough. You're introducing another legacy game to
Right.
the channel.
After just talking about another legacy game you want to have, yeah.
Right. Is this just something that we play for fun whenever we can? Who is it? Is it 4 players? Is it 3 players? We got to finish Seafall. How do you pick the right players? This is what's tough about legacy games.
Yeah.
I really do like them, but they're tough to finish.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a lot of hours, a lot of time invested in Seafall, like you just said. But Ricky's moved an hour, he's moved really far away from us.
Yeah.
And he's super busy. You're super, so it's hard to get 4 people together. It's
Right.
hard to get 3 people. At least the 2 of you live in the same household. It's a little easier. And it's
Yes.
still difficult for the 2 of you to get it.
Correct. So this is something that we have to decide. But that's, again, why we're putting this episode together to see what would you like to see on our
Right.
channel. Because, we don't really do that many reviews of games, so we don't put up that much content. And what we do is we stick with the game, campaign-wise, and we stay with it. That's why we have a lot of you following us to go through that story. Well, now we're kind of at this crossroad of, what story do you want to see? Do you want to see more shorter episodes, shorter things? We got the Friday Night Lights, which is perfect to fill that in. We've got games like Death May Die, where it's 1 episode, like a Power Rangers, or we can continue doing 1 or 2 campaigns.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so do you really want Tainted Grail? I guess it comes down to Tainted Grail or this. But there's other stuff too you have. So yeah, it's a rough question. Are you interested in seeing this?
Mm-hmm.
Clank Legacy.
Right.
Or no?
Right.
Are you
Or
interested
again,
in Tainted Grail?
1
No.
episode of this to say, oh, that's what that game's like.
I
I
think
like it
that's-
without it being spoiled.
That is
And then we could play.
Right. That's not a question. I think definitely put an episode out because people are interested to see how it plays out. And I know I watch, the games.
Yeah.
How does it play? Oh, that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I think that has to be done. But past that one,
How do you do it?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's what this episode's about. Please leave a comment and let us know what your thoughts are. Are you excited about Azul as much as Chris and Becky were?
Not excited, but it was fun.
Azul.
Can you recommend any other games for us too? I mean, you have a few games.
Yeah, I got some good
We
two-player
still have
games.
a couple more too, but
I can definitely watch it. I know you got some card games that you said. So
yeah, we play a
it's-
lot of card games because they're simple.
There you go. That's perfect. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be great. So stay tuned for that content coming out. Stay tuned for anything from PAX Unplugged. If you're going to be there, let us know. We might be able to get together and play a game even at night. Who knows if you're staying the night. So definitely reach out to us. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't.
I can't wait to play games again. It's tough. I got 18 years before I can really get back into them. So, as always, thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you next time.